Oh, really?
Uh-huh. And I was looking for Nesahar all the time.
Oops. How about you, Mickey? Did you feel the food was heavy on your stomach or was it okay?
Um, it was okay. I think that was because I haven't eaten so much. I just ate my normal portions. Probably Mitch was sick for because she ate more.
Okay.
Could be. Well, I don't know. Sometimes the stomach of a person is more sensible. I went to look at with my girlfriend, and on the way back, we ate some gorditas in the way.
Mm-hmm.
They were really delicious, and she got badly sick, but
Mm,
badly, badly. She got a strong diarrhea, and I didn't have any problem at all, not even the slightest problem. And we ate the same.
yeah.
So sometimes the stomach is more sensible depending on the season, your defenses,
Mm-hmm.
etc. Very nice.
Absolutely.
Well, tell me more about Guadalajara, Mitch, Mickey. What else did you do? What else did you see?
Uh, well, the concert was for a band. It's an Italian band. Uh,
Oh,
their name is Il Volo. I don't know if you know them.
Silbolo,
Il Volo. El
Il
vuelo
Volo.
in Spanish.
Ah, okay, Il Volo. No, 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 I don't know it. Is it good?
Very good.
Yeah, they sing like how do you say opera?
Opera. Ah,
Yeah,
okay.
Italian opera.
Italian opera, and the majority of the songs that they sing are covers, but it was amazing. I really like it.
When you say covers, what do you mean exactly, Mickey?
That the songs that they're normally sing are from other artists or other authors,
Huh.
and they create like
Oh,
their
okay.
their own version.
Oh, okay, okay. I got you. All right. And this Italian band, how many integrants, how many members are there in the band?
Three.
Two people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
And their instruments, what do they play?
No,
um,
they sing.
they just sing. It
Oh,
is how can I say this? Uh, Now there are people that they compare with the three tenors. How do you say that?
three
Mm,
tenors, Carreras,
yeah,
uh,
Placido
Domingo,
Domingo.
and
Uh-huh.
Pavarotti was the other one?
Yeah, I think so, Pavarotti.
Although Pavarotti passed away, you know that, right?
Mm-hmm. And well, they sing the same type of music, but now it's like more pop, like more popular. The way how they
Oh,
play that songs. Yeah. Whenever
okay.
you have time, I recommend to listen to a few songs of them.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, 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 yes. Yeah, for some reason, opera is becoming much more popular. We recently went to Leon to an opera play, and it
Mm-hmm.
was absolutely fabulous. Fabulous. That was in the, what is the name of this famous theater in Leon, Bicentenario? Have you visited that?
In Leon?
Teatro Bicentenario, yes.
Oh,
I
I
don't think
just went
so.
to Poliforum,
It's nearby actually.
Teatro del Lago, I think so is the name of the other that is in
Oh,
Explora.
is in the surroundings. It's very close to that. It's
Mm,
called
okay.
Teatro Bicentenario.
Mm,
And this opera called Aida was absolutely marvelous, very intense. The story, the plot, just unbelievable, just unbelievable. Because there are it's similar. You know the story of Romeo and Juliet from Shakespeare, Mitch, Mickey.
yeah.
What is the plot?
Mm, well, I remember that Juliet, uh, she belongs like a rich family and she had all the privileges, and Romeo was like more poor, and he was I don't know what was his occupation, but he was poor in few words, and they fell in love, and they start to dating. How can I say, in a hidden way, or how can I say this?
Yeah, concealed way. Yes.
Hmm. And I think that the end, the father of Juliet discovers them, and um, he threatened her. I don't remember. Yeah, right.
More or less, yeah, more or less. The thing is that they were in opposing armies, and they were in war with each other, the Montescos and the Capuletos. Romeo
Mm.
was a Capuleto, I think, and Juliet was a Montesco, or other way around, and they were
Hmm.
fighting for opposing armies. So Romeo
Okay.
and Juliet is a classic, but the plot is very similar to this opera from Verdi or Puccini. I forgot if it's Puccini or Verdi. The thing is that they fall in love too, but they are from opposing armies, and you need to watch it. The name is Aida.
Aida.
It's an opera by Aida. It's a fantastic. Let's see if we can find the plot of Aida, the opera. And I forgot if it's Puccini or Verdi. Can you look that up, Mich Miky, please? Plot of Aida, an opera. Plot of opera Aida, please.
Aida?
Aida, Aida. Yes.
By Giuseppe
What is it?
Verdi.
Verdi, exactly. She's Verdi. I thought it was Puccini, but no, it's Verdi. And they are bringing fantastic plots and plays to Leon recently. And this was one of, not one single person could fit. It was absolutely full.
Hmm.
Mm, that's great.
Yeah, very, very, very nice. So let's see if you found the plot and if you can share it, please. It was similar. It was a pharaoh from Egypt, and there
You have
was,
here the acts of the story. I think so.
oh, okay.
Um,
Maybe you can show them, please.
mhm.
Is that Kira?
No.
It was me.
Oh,
No.
okay.
Aida, set in ancient Egypt, Aida is a timeless story of love and betrayal against the backdrop of war. The story is a roller coaster of emotions filled through Verdi's powerful music. Aida is an Ethiopian princess held captive in Egypt, in love with the general Radames, and he with her. When he is chosen to lead a war with Ethiopia, he follows the conflict of Aida's love for both Radames and for her country.
Yeah. Yeah. So he's in love with a woman, but the woman belongs to the opponent's army. So you're gonna be in war against an army, but you are in love with with one of the women. Let's read them very quickly. They are very, very brief, very short.
Mitch?
Yes, please. Yes, Mitch, if you can read the first scene.
Sure. Since when? Ramses, the chief priest, tells Radames that the god Isis has chosen the general who will lead the Egyptian armies into battle against the Ibandine Ethiopians. Radames hopes that he has been chosen so that he may return victorious to Aida, an enemy slave in the royal household for whom he cannot openly admit his love. And Mary's Princess of Egypt secretly loves Radames and questions him about his feelings. She suspects that he prefers Ida to her. The pharaoh enters with the prize on his card to hear reports of the invasion. He announces that Isis has chosen Radames as Egyptian commander in chief and leads everyone in demanding revenge on the Ethiopians. Amaris beats Radames, return victorious. The Egyptians are unaware that Haida is the daughter of the Ethiopian king. Amonasro alone, she is torn between her love for her country And for Rhodames, in despair, she implores that the pity of the gods.
Yeah,
Gods.
it's a fantastic scene, right? Imagine that you are in love with an enemy. Wow, what a situation, right?
Mhm.
Have you ever been Mitch, Mickey, or have you ever known a person? This love is forbidden because the enemy is the enemy,
Mhm.
right? So it normally happens so that we know someone. My aunt, for example, I had a teacher who was in love with my aunt when this teacher was my aunt's student.
Oh.
Hmm.
So, but he was a kid. He was 10 or 12 years old. 10. He was in primary school. My aunt was a primary school teacher, and this was a boy, 10, 11 years old. But 20 years later, this teacher became my teacher in secondary school, and he said to me, "Don't tell me that Mrs. Lenny, that was my aunt's name, was your aunt." Yeah, she was my aunt. Oh, really? And then we became friends, of course. He said to me, he made a confession. I was in love with your aunt. Really? But how old were you? He says, like 10 years old. So it's almost very innocent, right? But have you known a person, Mitch or Mickey, that has been in a forbidden love and the conflict that he or she has suffered?
Mm,
Eh, I don't know if that counts. Uh, we noticed when I was in secondary, a girl likes a father, a sacerdote,
A priest. Oh,
a
yeah,
priest.
that's very common. That counts, of
Yes,
course.
she likes him,
Yes.
and he tried uh, to have something with him, but he didn't want with her for obvious reasons.
Yeah, of course.
And the girl get mad and start to say that the priest is touching her and things like that.
Oh, really?
Very, uh, very bad, and was a notice in the old city. And in the current times, that priest is in the jail for supposedly touch a minor. And
Really?
yes, and supposedly there's going to be another judgment to get them get him free for lack of evidence,
Yes.
but I think the justice is pretty slow.
Don't tell me that that is a story that happened in a very famous school. Ye-
Atenas.
Yes,
Uh-huh.
I know the story.
Yeah.
I know. Gee, so you knew the girl.
I see her one time. Actually, I don't know if he's still living in this street,
Oh, okay.
but she used to live here.
Yeah. Well, that became a scandal
Uh-huh.
in the city. Yeah, and the attorney who was defending the who was accused defending the girl.
Mm-hmm.
I know her. I know where she lives actually, and she's now a judge. She was a student many years ago at Liceo Cervantino in the university before Incarnate bought it, and I gave it a class. She was very smart, but very well. I don't want to say more, but very interesting case. And
Mm,
so that happened like 6 years ago, 5 or 6 years ago, right?
I was in
yeah, more or less.
second or
You,
secondary. Uh-huh.
okay, you know the story, Mickey.
Yeah. Hmm.
Okay,
Uh,
who doesn't know the story, right?
yeah, and a part of that, obviously, my mom was uh, near in that case,
Oh,
because
really?
she was working there. Yeah, she knows all the story, and actually, she went to how can I say this?
Provide
Uh,
her the position
as
as a witness.
uh, yeah, as a witness. She went in many cases. I remember that
Jeez.
uh, one day I was um, I don't remember what I was doing, but how do you say it? The guys who knock the door and gives you the document to present you
In
in a
court?
court. Uh-huh.
Yeah, there is a legal term for that. The judge assistant, or yeah, a
Yeah.
clerk. It's a clerk.
Okay, the clerk. Yeah, I was in my house and I remember that they came and I was like, oh my god, what happened? And then my mom told me the story and all the scandal that was caused there.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But
You-
there are a lot of versions of the story.
Of course, and that happens all the time. And this is a conflicting situation. It's more common than not. Believe me, it's more common than not that, for example, like in this case of the opera Aida, where the woman falls in love with an enemy. And it's a state enemy. It's an enemy of the state because you are in war with them, right? Um, well, okay. Um, let's see what happened here because it's very interesting, and maybe you tell me later about what happened there in Guadalajara. Scene two. Who wants to read scene two, please?
Me,
Okay.
scene 2, Sacred, rites are performed in the temple. Ramphis conducts Radames to the altar, where he receives a sword and the god's blessing on the campaign.
Okay. Keep on with scene two, please, Mickey. Amneris. Amneris is the daughter of the king who is in love with Radames. Okay.
Okay. Scene 1, Amneris prepares for the celebrations to welcome back Radames. Slaves dance for her amusement until she dismisses them at Aida's approach. Amneris tells Aida that Radames has been killed in battle. Aida's grief at this news turns to joy when Amneris admits that she lied about Radames' death in order to trick the slave girl into admitting her love. Amneris, Amneris has confirmed her suspicion that Aida is her rival. After threatening Aida, Amneris departs for the festivities.
What do you think of this idea? How do you make your opponent to confess that she's in love with the same person that you are? what
Yeah,
do you what
it's
do you think
nothing
of this trick?
common.
Is that it?
Yeah, of course. I don't know. I don't want to generalize, but I think that it's something that is more common that women will do instead of men. I think that men don't do those kind of things. Normally, obviously, there are people of different ways to react and act, but I think that women do it more times.
Okay, what let me ask Mitch what she says. What do you think about this trick of Abneris to make her rival confess, Mitch? What do you think of this idea of this trick?
Mm. Okay. Okay. Oh my. It likes a thread, right?
Yeah, but before the threat, she doesn't know, Abneris doesn't know if Aida is in love with Radames, right?
Uh-huh.
So how does she make him confess? Well, she tells her rival that Radames has been killed,
Mm.
even if it is not true. And so Aida becomes very sad, starts to cry. And so Abneri says, "Ah, so you are in love with him." And now she says, "Oh, that was not true. It was only a joke." And she threatens Aida. And she says, "But don't get close to him." Because obviously Abneris is in love with Radames, right?
Yes.
So it was a trick to make her rival confess. Who
Well,
uses tricks more often, Mitch? Men or women?
uh,
Women,
I'm not sure. Maybe women.
Women. Okay. Now, what kind of tricks do you know men or women use, Mitch, Mickey? Which tricks do people normally use to sway a person you like or you love towards you?
Um,
A lot of questions or tricky questions.
For example,
Oh, like every down questions. If I know.
when I was in high school, I've seen
yeah.
so many cases where I don't know, two girls were like fighting for a guy, and they liked they like each other to try to dismiss the other girl, and they create massive gossips, and they create massive stories just for get what they want. But well, it's more normal that women do that.
Okay. Well, it's an interesting comment because that is exactly what happened in this story, and it's
Yeah.
really really interesting. Okay, let me then continue with the story. If you please can read the next act, act number two, scene number two, please.
It is Mitch's turn.
Mitch, do you want to read it, please?
Mhm. The Egyptians have won the war, and the triumphal procession celebrates Radames' victory. And Mary's crown his victor, and the pharaoh offers him any reward he may name. Radames asks for the Ethiopian prisoners to be summoned. Summoned is liberados?
And no, summon is to be presented. You appoint, summon the prisoners, call them here, and then when they are here, he wants them to forgive them. He asks for the pardon because in the prisoners is Aida's father.
Uh-huh.
So he wants to give them pardon and liberate them. That's what
Okay.
Radames wants. He doesn't want revenge or blood because he knows that Aida's father is one of the prisoners.
Mm-hmm.
So, well, I am going ahead of you, but please, yes, please continue reading, Mitch.
Yes. Ida recognizes among them her father. He is disguised as a captain and warns her not to reveal his true identity. He pleads for his fellow captives' lives, but Ramphis and the Prayers demand their death. Radames, however, requests freedom for the Ethiopians and his reward. The pharaoh agrees to the compromise suggestion that Ida and her father should be retained and hostage. He
Hostages.
hostages. He then presents Radames with the hand of his daughter Anne Marie's and the promise that he will one day rule and Pharaoh admires itself and this unexpected turn of fortune while Radames and Ida despair.
Imagine, Mickey, that a woman that you don't like or that you don't love, and the father of this lady tells you, now you're going to be, well, maybe not the king of Ethiopia, but maybe let's say you're going to be the next general manager of Instituto if you marry my daughter. They are offering you a kingdom, right? You're going to be the general manager of Instituto if you just take the hand of my daughter. But you don't love her. You have another woman that you love, and that woman is an enemy of the of this lady. Do you imagine the conflict?
It will be a big conflict, of course.
Yeah, of course, of course. Um, would you feel tempted? In this case, they are offering him a kingdom. It's not only the hand of a woman, but you basically become the next king, the next pharaoh of Egypt. Imagine all the power, imagine all the wealth, all the benefits. How would you react in that situation, Mickey, as a man? Or how do you think of this situation from perspective, Mitch? What do you guys think? How should he react?
Mm, well, personally, I said that it doesn't worth it to have a lot of money if you have to be unprepared being with someone that you don't like, even if that person is bad. uh, Doesn't worth it. I think when someone experiment, maybe not to have all the money of the world, but being with the right person is more than sufficient.
Okay, well, that's a very nice, and I would say I don't want to judge it, but I'm not going to say idealistic, because in theory is the perfect response. I don't know if that is very common or not. What do you think, Mickey?
Um, I don't know. Well, we're supposing that I have a girlfriend or something like that.
No, no, no. I'm not talking about your case now. I'm talking about Radames,
Hmm.
Aida, and
Hmm.
Abneris. The pharaoh, not the pharaoh. Yeah, the pharaoh is presenting the hand of his daughter to Radames. He says, "I offer you the hand of my daughter. One day you will be the pharaoh. One day you will be the king. Is equivalent to a king." And
Yeah.
he doesn't love the woman. He loves another woman. What do you think? How would you feel in this situation?
Obviously, I will feel with a lot of pressure because uh, you are like tempted to all those to all that power. But um, I don't know. Probably I will choose the girl with the daughter of how do you say it?
Pharaoh?
Of Pharaoh. Yeah, probably. I don't know. I
And
imagine them. Yeah, okay, I could try.
okay, and then you forget the you old love, not forget it, but then you, besides the woman you love is your enemy, right? Because she's with the opposites band.
Well, I don't know. I need to reflect more because it is complex. I don't know. Probably.
Okay, well, let's see what happened in Act Three, please.
Okay.
All right, Act Three.
Act 3. On the eve of their marriage, Amneris is taken by Ramphis to pray in the temple of Isis. Radames has chosen a place nearby for a final rendezvous with Aida, who dreams of her homeland while she waits for him. Her thoughts are interrupted by her father, who demands that she discovers a line of attack by which Radames will make the next Egyptian assault. When Radames arrives, Aida suggests to him that he doesn't love her enough to leave Egypt and live with her in Ethiopia. When at first he refuses, she points out that she and her father are certain to be executed if they remain in Egypt. He therefore agrees to flee with her, and she asks him which route they should take to avoid the Egyptian troops. He tells her, whereupon Amonasro steps forward and reveals his true identity. Radames is appalled that he was unwittingly betrayed his country, and now refuses to escape with them. Amneris and Ramphis emerge from the temple. Amosnaro moves to attack Amneris, but Radames prevents him, and Amonasro and Nair escape. Radames gives himself up to Ramphis.
You know what happened in this scene, Mitch, Mickey? You understand what happened here?
Uh, they were trying to convince how is the name of this guy?
Radames.
Oh, yeah, they tried to convince Radames to leave Egypt.
Well, he wanted to leave Egypt with Aida,
Hmm.
but then Aida, with the how to say this, with the impulse of her father,
Hmm.
that is the enemy, is the king of the opposing enemy, is the king of the opponents, convinces his daughter to tell her lover Radames, to tell him to reveal secret information, which is the route which they're going to take, right? Because they are in war. they want him to reveal strategic information. And he
Okay,
says,
okay.
okay, I give you this strategic information, but you and I, the woman and Radames, Aida and Radames, are going to flee, to escape, and forget about everything. But in the moment that he reveals to her the route that they're going to take with the army, with the soldiers, the father of the girl steps out and says, you know, I am the father of her and I am the king. In other words, he's telling him that he is the enemy. And Radames notices that he has just betrayed his country. He confessed is very important strategic information. So in that moment, he says, oh, I betrayed my country. I am a traitor. And
Hmm.
so he doesn't want to go with Aida anymore. And he gives himself to the law in his country. So he gives himself, se entrega, right?
Okay, okay.
Let's see, scene number one, act, the last act. This is the last act, which is tragic. Let's see, Mitch, please.
Mhm. Since when?
Scene one, yes, please.
Anne-Marie realizes that she must try to save Radames from the harsh verdict of the priest. She summons him to her presence and begs him to forget Ida and love her instead. This is the price of her intercession of his behalf with the pharaoh. When he refuses, she denies him the priest, file into the judgment chamber and call out the charges against Radames. Aneris becomes increasingly frantic. What means frantic?
Frantic, frenetic.
Okay, gracias. Increasingly frantic, and she realizes that he will not even attempt to defend himself. The priest condemned him to be entombed alive for treason. What means treason?
Traición.
Okay, treason. And Mary curses them, and they leave.
You know what is to be entombed alive? The penalty is entombed alive, enterrado vivo
Oh, oh,
is the condemn. That was the penalty for traitors.
oh my God.
Yeah, and but you know what happened with Abneris? She was still tries to save Radames, and he says, "Forget Aida, love me, and I will tell my father to forget you. But you need to forget Aida." And Radames refuses,
Yes.
which at this time I think is pretty dumb. I don't know. What do you think, Mickey?
Pretty, pretty dumb.
A lot.
Yeah. Well, but it's opera, right? Let's read the scene two, please.
Me?
Yes, number two. Scene number two, please.
Scene number two. Radames has been sealed in a tomb where he surprised to discover Aida waiting for him. Amneris mourns for Radames as Aida dies in his arms. Hmm?
Okay. Well, I think that's the end, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, very tragic. But imagine this with beautiful songs and arias, and it's absolutely fantastic. So I reminded of this because of what you told me that you watch in Guadalajara, and these operas and arias are part of a whole story that normally they are dramatic, Mickey, Mitch. Uh,
Yeah. Um, it's something that I noticed that the stories in the past, until the how do you say fairy tales, or
yes, 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 yes.
the originals were dramatic in so
Yeah,
many cases.
yeah, that is true. That is true. But well, this is an opera that I suggest that you can watch one day. And there are many ones that are coming to León and Guanajuato too. I know that Guadalajara has a huge cultural life. Don't you agree, Mitch?
Of
Mickey?
life?
Cultural life, cultural life.
Oh,
The
yes.
culture in Guadalajara is huge.
Yeah.
Like
Hmm.
this,
There are a lot of theaters, and there are a lot of parks, and there are a lot of places where you can listen music or dance. Yeah, it was something that I noticed. And apart of that, we were staying in Zapopan.
Ah, that's a very nice town.
Yeah, I really liked the city because there were a lot of trees. How do you say jacarandas? the
Jacarandas, the tree.
the tree,
I
yeah, the
think
tree.
it's I think it's a tropical tree, so it should be called jacaranda too, I believe.
Okay, yeah, and
Jacaranda trees.
there were a lot of jacaranda trees, and everything seems uh, purple and with so many colors, and I really like that song. But yeah, it's beautiful, Guadalajara.
Okay. How long did you stay there, Mitch? Just Saturday, Sunday? Or how was the trip? How long was the trip?
To we arrived there in Friday, like around 3 p.m., and we come back in Saturday at 3 p.m.
Oh, okay, okay. So the concert was Friday night.
Huh? No,
Oh.
no, Friday. We're right there at 3 p.m.
Yeah, but
Yes.
the concert that you
Ah, yes,
attended
the concerts. Yes, 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 yes.
was in the evening or at
Friday night.
night. Ah, okay. Was it very crowded?
Normal was in the Auditorio Telmex and was full. Yes,
Okay.
but
How many?
it wasn't crazy. Everything pretty soft.
Oh, very nice. And what do you think was the capacity of the auditorium, Mickey or Mitch?
Mm, I don't know. Let me search it because I'm curious. 11,500.
Wow, 11,000.
Yeah, it was huge. Probably it was like 85 or 90% of the full capacity.
Wow, that's amazing. That's amazing. The opera ticket prices in Leon are normally in the range of between 200 and 700 pesos, sometimes 800 pesos, depending on the location.
Mm.
If I had to guess on the price of these tickets, maybe they were in the range of 500 to 1,000, 1,500. But I could be short, huh?
I think that the cheapest price was 580
Okay.
with taxes and everything,
All
and
right.
the highest price was around 3,000, 3,500 more or less. Mm.
Wow, incredible. Yeah, because it's a great show, and Guadalajara is a much more expensive city than Leon. And an event like this of this magnitude was just fabulous. So, very nice.
Yeah,
Okay.
it was great. I recommend you their music teacher.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, thank you very much. I think I'm
They
gonna go.
they sing songs like O Sole Mio,
Okay.
Il Mondo.
Ah, El Mondo is one of my favorite songs. Actually, it's my favorite song in English, but I didn't know that the original song was Italian.
Yes,
Or you will love their
the
version.
Italian version. It's
It's
pretty
amazing.
amazing.
Yeah, you know the song in English, right? You're My World.
Not really.
Nope.
No, don't tell me that. No kidding. I can't believe it. Well, let me share with you the song because it's my favorite song in English. And I'm sure you've heard the song, You're My World. And recently I noticed that this song, okay, let me, Sheila Black. Okay, this is the song. Let me share with you. Okay, I didn't know that they play this song. The original is Italian. It's in Italian. Let me share with you. Here it is. And you're going to recognize it.
Yeah.
All right.
So I sent it. I just sent it to
Uh, yeah.
Present it better. Uh, better.
You're My World. Let me send it to you through the face,
Sheila
through
Black?
the. Yeah, but the song is called You're My World. listen to it for a little bit. You're gonna notice that should be the same. Did you get it?
No?
Yeah,
I sent it to the WhatsApp group too, Mitch.
Yes, I'm listening to it, but I don't recognize it. It's pretty good also.
probably the
Oh,
song that I'm telling you is another song because I've heard that song, the link that you sent.
okay.
But let me send you the link of the song that I'm telling you.
Is El Mio Mondo or is Il Mondo?
Il
Il
Mondo.
Mondo.
I'm sorry. So I think it's a different one because the one that I'm referring to is called Il Mio Mondo, which is the original version of this one. Il Mio Mondo.
Let me send you the.
Yeah, I'm gonna send you the song in Italian that I was thinking of, which
Hmm.
now I know it's not the right one.
I
Okay,
sent you
here it
for
is.
the private chat.
To the private chat. Okay, so let me listen to it really quick. And here it is. Il Mondo. No, it's another one.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, it's another song. I'm sorry, I got confused. But it's a nice song, apparently.
Hmm. They sing amazing, really amazing.
Oh, okay. Well, I should go there one day, but probably they're already back in Italy, right?
Yeah. Actually, the next concert after
Panama.
Guadalajara was in Panama City,
Oh,
and I
okay.
think that they end their world tour there.
Very
And
nice.
I remember because I was looking the dates that they have, and I think that the last concert, but it's of another tour, is in Arena di Verona in Italy.
Okay.
But yeah, they're great. I recommend you their music.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go watch it one of these days. Well, when it's available. When it's available, of course. Very nice. Well, I suggest that we devote a few minutes to the chapter that we were working on the other day, which is the chapter on infrastructure. And if you remember, there are many types of infrastructure which make a city better than other cities. For example, in Italy, one part of infrastructure was the Roman Colosseum. You have seen it, of course, now that we're in the topic of Italy, right? I'm sure that you
Yeah.
have seen pictures.
Hmm.
Okay. Now, if we go back to the times of the emperors, you remember the story of the Roman Colosseum?
Um, well, I know that in that place there was like a place where people fight, and there were a lot of people that were just watching, like to entertain. How can I say this? To,
Entertain, absolutely, yes.
yeah, entertain the public in general.
Yeah, exactly. Where there were fights among, how do you call these guys? The ones that fight with each other with lances. But there was also the Roman circus there. And one of the acts was a very cruel one. I don't know if you have heard about this. When the Christians were sacrificed to the lions.
Yeah.
And let's see, we can find a picture of this amazing piece of infrastructure. Can you Google the Roman Colosseum, please, Mitch Miky,
Hmm.
and see how it was designed? How there was a mechanism to roll the cages of the lions up and level off with the Christians that were going to be executed for, I mean, for being Christians. And Nero was the emperor who decided the fate of these people and was really, really cruel. So let's see if you find this, please.
I'm sharing.
Let me give me a second, please. Establish. Yes, exactly. Very good. There it is. That's the external part of the Colosseum
Um, yeah, I found
structure.
the more information about the architecture and design.
Okay, very, very nice. So let's read just one or two paragraphs really quick. Mitch, can you help us, please?
Sure, sure. Uh, Coliseum architecture and design. The Coliseum was built in the ancient Roman architectural style. Construction took about 7 to 8 years, making it one of the largest and most complex structures. The columns were built using three different styles. The Doric style was used for the ground floor columns where the wealthiest Romans used to sit.
Yeah, the second tier
The second
columns.
tier columns were built in the iconic style. The third tier columns, made for the common people, were made the Corinthian style.
Okay, thank you very much. Now let's look up for the sacrifices of the Christians with lions. That must be somewhere. Let's see if you can find it. If not here, elsewhere. Christians were sacrificed or were sent to the lions in Nero's times. Let's see if there is something. Nature.
I found here a little bit of information.
Okay, let's see here.
The Colosseum, power, brilliance, and brutality. The Colosseum has always been a monument surrounded by mystery and legend. In researching this monument, I found it interesting to be able to corroborate or dispel some of these legends and see the extent to which they have been exaggerated. Were Christians really fed to the lions? Yes. Christians were fed to half-starved lions, burned alive, and hacked to death. But the most interesting aspect of this was that the Christians who died in the Colosseum wanted to die there as martyrs.
Yeah. So there was a mechanism that lifted a platform that contained the cages of the lions, and you were lifting the platform with a mechanism that rotated and with ropes,
Hmm.
and then little by little the platform with the cages of the lions was moving up until it leveled off with the Christians. The lions were half starved, so they really needed to be fed, and the Christians, I don't know if they wanted to die as martyrs, but when they saw the starving lions, they started to run, and it was a huge show, but very cruel, of course. Yeah, and just imagine. And they followed the sign of Nero, which is the very famous sign of the thumb down, right? Well, this is one of the structures in Italy that were very famous to this day. To this day, if you have the opportunity to go to Italy one day, which I'm sure you will, visit the Colosseum and you will see this impressive structure over there. Other
Did you visit it,
structures,
teacher?
I went in 2012, 10, 11 years ago.
Wow, that's
Yeah, I
great.
went, and I went there for 10 days. It was just amazing, just incredible. Yeah, really, really impressive. Yeah, of course, you have the Trevis Fountain, which is another structure, which is totally
Mhm.
opposite. Is very, very nice. Let's see if we can Google Trevis Fountain, Mich Miky, in Italy too. Trevis Fountain, and I believe the Teatro dell'Opera is there too. But Trevis
Fontana di
Fountain,
Trevi.
yeah, Trevis Fountain, yes, the Fountain of Trevi, Trevis Fountain. Trevi's Fountain. Fountain. Trevi Fountain. It's Piazza di Trevi.
Are you
Okay.
sharing, teacher?
No, 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 no. So you would share, but I can share myself.
No, yeah, I can share it.
You can? Okay, please, please, Mickey.
Can you see it?
Yeah, now I can. Yes. Let's see what it says. The Trevi Fountain. You want to read that, Mitch, please?
Sure. Trevi Fountain. The Trevi Fountain is an 18th century fountain in the Trevi district in Rome, Italy, designed by Italian architect Nicola Salvi and completed by Giuseppe Panini and several others, standing 26 point meters, 86 feet height and 49.15 meters. Uh-huh.
Wide?
Wife is the largest Baroque fountain in the city and one of the most famous fountains in the world. The fountain has appeared in several films, including Roman Holiday, Three Coins in the Fountain, Federico Fellini's classic La Dolce Vita, Sabrina Goes to Rome, and the Lizzie McGurry movie.
Yeah, exactly. It's another fantastic construction, and you should see this. You should see this when you go to Italy. Of course, there are many other beautiful places in Italy. You have the aqueduct, you have Venice, you have Florence. Actually, in Venice, you have the gondolas, which are just amazing. And the Channel of Venice is just impressive. Let's see if we can find something about Venice as a city, which is absolutely beautiful and has one of the most important, marvelous infrastructure in uh, in Italy. Let's see if we can find it, please. Venice,
Venice.
yeah, yeah, you have the channel there. Okay, you want to read a little bit, Mickey, please?
Venice, Venezia, or Venezia is a city in northeastern Italy and the capital of Veneto region. It is built on a group of 118 small islands that are separated by canals and linked by over 400 bridges. The islands are in the shallow Venetian lagoon, an enclosed bay lying between the mouths of the Po and the Piave rivers, more exactly between the Brenta and the Sile. In 2020, around 258,685 people resided in Greater Venice or the Commune di Venezia, of whom around 55,000 live in the historical island city of Venice, Centro Storico, and the rest on the mainland, terraferma, together with the cities of Padua and Treviso. Venice is included in the Padua-Treviso-Venice metropolitan area (PATREVE), which is considered a statistical metropolitan area, with a population of 2.6 million.
Yeah, really impressive. You see the pictures, you're gonna notice how beautiful this is. You have the canals. There are lots of islands, and of course the city. Supposedly, the level of the water has been going up.
Oops,
So
that's a
they,
big issue.
yeah, because they had to constantly restore and refurbish the buildings there. But look how beautiful the place is. It's incredibly beautiful.
And when you visited, there were a lot of people or not?
Yeah, lots of people, lots of tourists, lots of tourists. And as in many places, you they ask you where you come from and they believe that you're from Argentina, from Spain, and they more or less grimace. They say, oh, okay. And then you tell, no, I'm not from Italy, I'm not from Argentina, I'm not from Spain, I'm from Mexico. And they, oh, really? Fantastic. They love the Mexicans.
Oh,
They
really?
love Mexicans. Yeah, yeah. For some, well, I'm gonna tell you why most Europeans love Mexicans, because people in Mexico are very friendly, very welcoming, very generous, and hospital. You have huge hospitality here,
Yeah.
and so they love the country and the people from here, obviously. And so if you decide to go one day, they're gonna treat you really, really well. Most European countries, in Spain, which I have not visited, in France, in Italy. So yeah, hopefully.
Have you visited France?
Yeah, that was 3 years ago. Those are the only two countries that I know from Europe. France 3 days ago, which was a short visit, is very beautiful. But the people, I like the people from Italy better. But the sculptures, the architecture, the infrastructure of France, I believe, is more impressive than the architecture from Italy. Uh,
Yeah.
you just have some buildings in France that are unbelievable.
It is true that there are a lot of rats too in the street.
Rats.
Yeah,
You mean the
the animal.
rodents?
Hmm. Yeah,
Mm, I don't know. I didn't see any, but I think it's like in any major city, depending on the district. Like I'm
yeah,
sure in
because I've seen videos of uh, Eiffel Tower, and
yes,
in the gardens that there are near of the tower, there are a lot of rats. Like if they were birds, but rats.
really? Well,
Yeah, probably now there are more uh, trash, and that's the reason why there are more rats.
I don't know. I didn't notice that when I was there. That was 2018 or 19. No, 2019. That's 4 years ago. But for example, let's take a look at the Palace of Versailles, please. That's an incredible place. Absolutely beautiful. Palace of Versailles is absolutely beautiful.
Wow.
Yeah. And one of the most important treaties to suspend war, to become to terms, etc., have taken place in this building for amnesty, for many, many, many issues. The interior is like a huge museum. It's just unbelievable. The wealth of the kings in the before the French Revolution. So it's just impressive
All
how,
the paintings.
yeah, the paintings you see. Well, you have the Louvre, which is a great museum in Paris,
Hmm.
and that has you don't have a week is not enough for you to see all the compositions of people and artists. You would need much more time than a week. So you just have to skip many fantastic compositions by different artists. Do you paint, Mitch? You like painting, right? I think.
Eh, yes, but with not ironically with no paint.
Oh, really?
Mhm.
So how do you paint with no paint?
Digital type.
Oh, okay, 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 very good. Okay, well, in the French museums in Paris, you're gonna find one of the most impressive compositions from many artists. Leonardo da Vinci, for instance, with the Mona
Yes.
Lisa, Van Gogh, of course. It's just an incredibly fine, fantastic life, but it's very expensive. That's the unfortunate thing. But for example, look at this picture over here on the right. It's simply incredible. This one that says Palace of Versailles. And there is another characteristic which is puzzling. When you go to France, to Paris, there is a situation which is very confusing. You know that in Mexico City, you've been to Mexico City, right?
Yeah.
You have the green line, you take the green line, and the green line goes from A to B. So you take it in A and it takes you to B. And that's
Hmm.
very simple. In Paris, you take the green line, and if you get distracted, one take you to B, another can take you to C, which is the other side of the city, right? So there
Hmm.
are deviations, and one more that can take you to D. So the rare, which is the train, is very, very confusing because you take the train in A, pretending to go to B, and you get distracted for a second, and you end up in the other side of the city, right? So you want to go to here, you want to go to B, but then you got distracted and you didn't take the right train, and here you took the wrong one, or maybe even from here, there is an A that goes to B, A that goes to C, and A that goes to D as a yellow line. And the same is going to happen for the blue line, right? So it's very, very confusing. That's the one thing I didn't like from the transportation system in Paris. So you need to get used to that. But on the other hand, you can buy a ticket, an open ticket for 7 euros or 12 euros. No, 12 euros, and you can take free transportation for 7 days for 12
Oh, it is
euros.
great. It's not
That's
expensive.
fabulous. Yeah, and also you can buy a pass
Hmm.
that can take you to any museums for 1 week for 50 euros.
Oh,
So
really?
you
And where'd you buy that?
in the airport, in the train station, anywhere. You can buy it anywhere. You can buy it in the travels agency. 50 euros and you go to any museums for 7 days. So it's just
Wow.
amazing. They have some packages for transportation, for museums, for tourists. That's why they have millions of tourists
Yeah, of
because they have
course.
great packages. So well, I'm sure that one day you will manage to go visit these places, but it's a good idea to start knowing about them so that when you get there, you become more or less familiar with what you're gonna see. But
Yeah,
what I like,
actually,
yes,
I,
yes,
I'd really like to see those cities, and beat us about it because it gives you like a biggest, how can I say, like panorama?
a panorama, a panoramic, a
Yeah.
landscape, big, a nice landscape, or a nice picture of the city.
Mm-hmm. And I think that it's good to know about the story, not just to visit because it's pretty, but now the story about the place that you are visiting. I think that is the most important.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. What place, what city would you like to visit in the midterm future, Mitch? What city or cities would you like to visit in the midterm?
Maybe, maybe Tokyo.
Tokyo. Wow. Okay,
Mm,
that'd be fantastic. Tokyo. Well, tell you
yes.
what. Why don't you prepare something to tell us about Tokyo for next class, Mitch and Mickey? Maybe you have a city in mind that you would like to visit, and prepare something brief that doesn't take you too much time.
Sure.
Maybe look up for a couple of sites, and next time you present something what is nice, what you know, and what is surprising that you didn't expect to
Okay,
see.
teacher.
Okay.
Yes,
Yeah. When's
very
gonna be
nice.
our next class?
I like to do it Wednesday, and then we need to find a way to recover the two missing classes.
Okay, so Wednesday, and then we decide the other days.
The other days, yes, please. Maybe we can recover one class this weekend, and next week we recover the other class.
Yeah,
Probably, right? Yes,
it's a good
that
idea.
kind of
Yeah.
idea. Okay, very nice. Well, Mitch, Mickey, as usual, nice talking to you. I'm glad to be back in class.
Yes, teacher. Thank you very much for your time. Take care and
Okay,
enjoy your afternoon.
you too. Thank you, Mickey. Mitch,
Thank you,
enjoy.
teacher.
Thank you,
Take care.
teacher. Have a great day.
You too. Thank you very much. Bye bye.
Thank you, teacher.
Bye.
Bye.